The Mega Millions lottery is not just about buying tickets and crossing your fingers. There are a whole lot of hidden strategies and surprising facts you're unaware of. Here are 9 crazy secrets about the Mega Millions lottery that you didn't know. But before we head to the crazy secrets, we have something exciting to share with you. On Wednesday, the 9th of August, a jaw-dropping win sent shockwaves across the nation. One Mega Millions ticket bought in Florida has won an enormous $1.58 billion jackpot. This massive win has beaten the $1.537 billion record from 2018. And you won't believe this. It is now the second largest prize ever given to a single ticket holder in U.S. lottery history. Out of all the tickets across the nation, one from Florida held the magic combination, the unique 6 numbers that started this journey. Imagine the moment those digits were announced, confirming the Floridian's fate as a legitimate millionaire. Now, let's talk about the strategy. The lucky Floridian faced a choice that most can only dream about. Would you prefer receiving the grand $1.58 billion in small portions spread over 30 years? Or would you prefer the thrill of an instant fortune? A jaw-dropping $783.3 million up front. Decisions. But hold on, because taxes are about to make their grand entrance. The lump sum option gets a 24% federal tax right off the top. That's still a staggering $595.3 million, mind you. But depending on the winner's tax bracket, the authorities might swoop in with a federal marginal rate of up to 37%. And this will leave our lucky winner with $493.5 million. Even if they choose the installment route, taxes play a role. After that 37% federal rate comes in, those annual installments of around $52.6 million shrink to roughly $33.1 million. It's still a life-altering amount. And you cannot escape the taxman's grasp. But here's the surprise. Florida is a tax haven for lottery winners. No state taxes are eating those winnings. Every dollar gets to stay right where it belongs, in the winner's pocket. But let's not overlook the incredible odds that this winner defied. A staggering 1 in 302.6 million. Now, that is the astronomical probability they overcame to seize this opportunity. What a win! Now, let's get back to our main topic and reveal the crazy secrets behind this gigantic jackpot. Number 9. More tickets don't guarantee better odds. You might have heard about the age-old belief that stacking up tickets ups your odds. Well, let's set the record straight. Regardless of the count, every ticket is unique. Your chances aren't influenced solely by the large number. It's a level playing field, and there are no favorites played here based on quantity. So, no, that stack of tickets won't magically tip the scales in your favor. Sorry to break it to you. Now, here's a breakdown of numbers so that it's easier to comprehend the whole situation. While smaller wins are possible, the math might just trick you. Now, you might be dishing out $1,000 for a bunch of tickets, and it might seem like a fast track to success. But unfortunately, it is not. You could be facing nearly a 50% chance of walking away with just $64 or even less. Yes, you heard it right. So what's the takeaway? Adjust your expectations. While a stash of tickets might look tempting, the real thrill of the Mega Millions lottery is the game itself. It's not about the quantity you've got, it's about the excitement of the chase. Buying more tickets does not mean you're going to win, but the next secret sheds light on something far more interesting, a plan that actually could impact your potential wealth. Number 8. There is a hidden strategy that could make you rich. Let's suppose that you've hit the jackpot with a staggering $10 million in the Mega Millions game. And now what? Obviously, your mind is bombarding you with the million-dollar question. Do you snatch that cash all at once, or do you consider a different path? Well, the decision holds a hidden power you might not have recognized before. You're going to have to make a choice between getting rich quickly or having a treasure hidden carefully. We're all familiar with the inevitable tax troubles that follow a lottery victory. Your state's tax department can't resist taking a piece of your big money. Unless you're among the lucky residents in states where lottery winnings are tax-free. But hold on tight, because this is where we're going to share the secret that will get you most of your winnings. Choosing the lump sum might appear obvious for those seeking immediate satisfaction. However, there's a surprise twist. The tempting lump sum gets swallowed up by taxes in one mighty gulp. Yep, you heard that right. All of it was gone in the blink of a financial year. Now imagine a different scenario. The annuity option emerges from the shadows, and it offers a strategic route that might not have crossed your mind before. Think of it as your confidential tool to tackle the hurdles that come with newfound riches. This is not merely about taxes. It's about outsmarting yourself. Now, here comes the clever aspect. By choosing the annuity, you're giving yourself a financial cushion. And you're also granting yourself precious time to contemplate, strategize, and make decisions that could secure your fortune. Let's get real here. We've all come across stories about lottery winners who experienced both success and downfall because of bad choices and outside influences. With the annuity, you'll receive payments and opportunities. Every installment is a chance to reverse the situation, regain losses, and grow your wealth. So the next time you're standing at the crossroads of lottery victory, remember the big secret. An annuity is not just about spreading out payments, it's about spreading out your chances. While the decision to strategize your winnings is definitely tempting, the next secret on the list is about the psychology behind the Mega Millions lottery. Number 7. The massive lottery prizes have a planned campaign to play with your mind. Next up is a mind-blowing secret about the Mega Millions lottery that you've never heard before. Did you know that those jaw-dropping jackpots are not just there to make your dreams bigger? They're actually the secret sauce behind the entire lottery system. Yes, you heard correctly. The massive jackpots aren't just about money. They're about keeping the excitement alive and the sales skyrocketing. These mega jackpots become the talk of the town. People cannot help but catch the fever. It's like a whirlwind of excitement that sweeps everyone up. And you know what's even crazier? The media cannot resist these massive jackpots. Every time there's a mega-sized jackpot, news outlets cannot help but jump on the bandwagon. You see those articles and TV segments about Mega Millions lottery fever? They're not just random happenings. All of this is part of a well-oiled machine that's designed to keep the buzz going. Here's the twist. While the media showers these games with attention, they often forget to show the other side of the coin. Behind those headlines and flashy TV spots, there's a hidden story that rarely comes to light. The financial struggles of those who are pouring their hard-earned money into tickets. Yeah, those stories are often left out. It's like the lottery world has its own set of biases. So next time you're caught up in the excitement of a mega jackpot, stop and think about the whole picture. Sure, the thrill is real, and the dreams are even bigger. But keep in mind, there's a deeper story than what you see. The jackpot campaign is brilliant to keep players hooked. But the next secret is a sneaky trick that reshapes how you view winning. Number 6. Mega Millions manipulates your winning potential. Many of you might be unaware of a little math trick that the Mega Millions game plays, but we're about to uncover it. It's all about something called expected returns. That might sound fancy, but it's just a clever way to figure out how likely you are to win. Let's do some calculations. Imagine the jackpot growing like a cake at a birthday party, and everyone wants a piece of it. The more people playing, the more money pours in. At first, this might seem like your chances of winning are shooting up like a rocket to the moon. But hold on, it's not as good as it seems. You see, the more players, the more chances your big victory could be shared with others. Suddenly, that big win might not feel as big as you thought. So, is the Mega Millions lottery a heartless game? Nope, not really. It's like a tricky dance between taking a risk and hoping for a reward. Those massive jackpots are like candy for our dreams, tempting us to play. But with lots of players in the mix, the chance of a solo win gets a bit harder. Expected returns might be complex, but the odds are only one part of the puzzle. Jackpots are indeed difficult to crack, and the next secret tells us why. Number 5. Mega Million jackpots are harder to win. Ever wondered how those insane billion-dollar jackpots come to life? Get ready, as we've got some news for you. The people in charge are making winning super tough on purpose. The bigger the jackpot, the tougher it is to win. Now, you might be thinking, wait, what? Are they supposed to be making it easier? Nope. As the prize money increases, so does the game's toughness. Why? Because it's all part of the grand plan to keep the dream alive. The more challenging it is to win, the longer the excitement lasts. And that's not all. Back in 2017, the Mega Millions lottery pulled off a secret move that most of us missed. They didn't just change the rules once or twice, but 3 times in just 21 years. Sneaky, right? But guess what? This wasn't just random. It was all about making the big jackpot even harder to grab. So, why mess with a good thing? Well, it's like a clever magic trick. The 2017 rules makeover made winning big prizes even harder. Back in the day, you'd pick 5 numbers from 1 to 75 and another from 1 to 15. But today, it's 5 numbers from 1 to 70 and 1 from 1 to 25. It might seem small, but it's a game changer. And it actually lowers your shot at that massive jackpot. The odds of winning the Mega Millions jackpot are really, really tiny, like 1 in 303 million. That way, the jackpot is going to roll over more times than it used to. And that adds up and up. And that's why we're seeing so many jackpots over $1 billion, which is good, but they're a lot harder to get our hands on now. But wait up, there's a silver lining. Those smaller wins, they're a little less challenging to reach now. You can pay an extra $1 to add the Mega Plier, and it can multiply your smaller winnings. But the game's rules are not the only intriguing factor. There are some other equally important things, and the next secret on the list will highlight what that is. Number 4. The lottery earnings contribute to various communities. Now, we're pretty sure that you must have asked this question yourself many times. Where does the money go? Because, let's face it, they're not putting 100% of the ticket sales into the jackpot. Get ready for a surprise, as it's more complex than it looks. You see, the Mega Millions lottery isn't just a single big pile of cash. Each state does things a bit differently. They use the money in different ways. It's like a puzzle of ideas from state to state. Some states add the money into their general fund, and that helps pay for important stuff like schools and hospitals. But wait, there's more. Other states want to help the environment, so they use the cash and invest in projects that make our planet happier. And there are some states that use a piece of the prize to help young people who need support. It's like the lottery is lending a hand to kids who could use a break. Who would have thought, right? From giving a hand to schools, saving the earth, and helping out youngsters, the Mega Millions lottery is more than just picking numbers. It's like a magic wand that's making things better across the country. And the next time you daydream about winning, remember, you're not just dreaming of being rich. You're also part of something bigger, making positive changes in your community and beyond. The allocation of funds might lead to surprising discoveries, but that's not the end of the story. The next secret is a real eye-opener about a twisted reality. Number 3. The lottery dollars don't always end up in the education fund. The last surprising fact revealed where the lottery cash is supposed to go. And the Mega Millions loves making a big deal about all the good they do with that money. But there's a little twist to that reality. Do you know how lotteries used to be pitched as superheroes for education budgets? But here's where it gets different. What is promoted isn't always what's delivered. Americans are tossing in an average of about $223 each year per person. But the education system isn't exactly hitting the jackpot. You'd think the dollars would be flowing into schools, right? Wrong. Many states are pulling a sneaky move. They're redirecting the lottery funds into other pockets. And this leaves schools and students with less than what was expected. The story of hope turning into disappointment is a common one. Those flashy ads and inspiring speeches about funding education, they often end up being just smoke and mirrors. It's like buying a ticket for a front row seat at the education show, and then later on, you find out you're in the back row with a blurry view. And if you're looking for the names of the culprits, here are some of them. States like California, Florida, and Michigan have mastered the art of financial trickery. They're playing a game that leaves you scratching your head. They're shuffling budget cards behind the scenes. And they're using lottery money to replace what they would have already put into education. Sneaky, right? And here's the surprising twist. Some states have seen education budgets actually shrinking after introducing the lottery. They pull the rug out from under the very thing the lottery is supposed to support. The truths behind education funding might make you question the lottery's role. And the next secret on the list exposes the unseen hands shaping the lottery landscape. Number 2. Low-income individuals buy the most tickets. Now, this one is a real shocker. Under all the fancy prizes, there's something serious going on. People who don't have much money actually spend the most on lottery tickets. Can you believe it? Reports from different places tell us that people who don't earn a lot and don't finish school end up buying a lot of tickets. You might be wondering, why do people who need money spend it on lottery tickets? Well, it's like a mix of wishing and feeling stuck. They hope they'll win big and solve their problems, even though the chances are really less. But here's where it gets crazier. They spend so much on tickets that it makes us wonder how lotteries affect different groups of people. The idea of the lottery sounds fair, like anyone could win, no matter where they're from. But the truth is more complicated. The dream of a big win pulls in those who can't really afford it. And making it really hard to win costs them a lot of money. Now, this is indeed a puzzling fact that often it is those with less who invest the most in hopes of winning big. But things don't end here. We have one last secret, which will challenge everything you thought you knew about the lotto system. Number 1. There is a possibility of cracking the Mega Millions jackpot code. Is there a method to increase your chances of hitting a gigantic jackpot? This is what every player thinks about. And we have good news about that. A Harvard University statistician, Professor Mark Glickman, has dared to share a strategy. And he claims it is a guaranteed ticket to the jackpot. But there's a small problem. It requires both time and a hefty sum of money. Professor Glickman's strategy relies on understanding the Mega Millions machine's inner workings. The setup is simple. 5 white balls and 1 golden ball are chosen in each drawing. With this structure, there's a number of combinations which can be calculated accurately. Precisely 302,575,350. Now, this discovery opens the door to a world of possibilities. In a sea of lucky numbers and scattered bets, Glickman offers a singular path to victory, and that is purchasing every possible combination. The price of this daring project? A staggering $605,150,700, with each ticket priced at $2. At first glance, It seems like a rewarding business. And there is a potential return of over $745 million from a $1.35 billion jackpot. However, here's where the plot thickens. Glickman points out that if others find out about this, they will duplicate it, and the jackpot pie will be divided. And this might change a money-making business into a financial disaster. So, you've scratched the surface of the crazy secrets about the Mega Millions lottery that you never saw coming. From strategies to surprises, you're now equipped with a whole new level of lottery know-how. But wait, there's even more to explore in the world of lotteries. If you're hungry for more unbelievable facts and curious about how lotteries work around the globe, we've got just the thing for you. Discover the insane lottery rules around the world in our next video. Secrets that Mega Millions winners will never tell you. From staying anonymous to winning odds and managing your fortune, we have insider tips that might change the way you look at the lottery. Number 10. Buy your tickets in a state that allows you to be anonymous. Many of us dream of winning the Mega Millions lottery, and deep down, we all wish there was a way to stay out of the spotlight once we win. After all, it isn't easy to be under public scrutiny all the time, but there's a way to avoid the whole fiasco. Let's hear it from Marty King, a partner at the Gorman & Williams law firm in Maryland. The best move you can make is to grab a ticket in one of those magical states where they won't make you step into the limelight. Yep, that means no press conferences, no oversized checks, and no need to show your face. Sounds pretty awesome, right? So, which states are these secret hideaways for Mega Millions lottery winners? Delaware, Kansas, Maryland, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Jersey, North Dakota, South Carolina, and Wyoming. If you happen to live near one of these states, Marty King suggests making a little road trip. Why? Because the rules for staying anonymous depend on where you buy your ticket, not where you live. Getting your tickets from states that allow you to stay anonymous saves you from a lot of trouble, and the next secret tip on our list will guide you in protecting your prize money. Number 9. Avoid sharing your big win with everyone. Now, we know this might be hard, but it's super duper important. Josh King, the legal expert from Avo, has some golden advice for us. He says, "The single best thing necessary to stay anonymous would be to tell no one, and I mean no one, about the win." That is the first big secret to staying undercover. Your lips should be sealed tighter than a vault. Josh also suggests that you should not go all out and change your life dramatically. This might sound tough because, hey, who wouldn't want to upgrade their life after a big win, right? But Josh insists that it's a must-do. These two things might feel like climbing Mount Everest, but they're your ticket to anonymity. And it's all pretty simple. If you start shouting from the rooftops about your fortune, or start living like a superstar, your friends and family might get curious. Once they get a hint of your good fortune, they could come knocking with their hands out, hoping to receive some cash from you. And we still have one more super helpful tip to keep your privacy protected. Living in the age of social media has made it difficult to keep things private. But you still have the option to make a choice, especially once you get lucky and win the Mega Millions. Mega Millions lottery winners use a small yet clever trick to stay in the shadows. And what is that, you ask? Staying off social media. Don't trust us? Well, then listen to what the experts have to say about this. Delete every social media account you have and consider changing as much as you can. And that's not all. There's another suggestion they have. Change your phone number and address if you can too. Doing all of this will make it tough for people to track you down. So go incognito and enjoy your prize without any unwanted attention. Not having a social media presence will keep you away from the spotlight. But what if you have to face the public? The next secret on the list will come in handy for such situations. Number 8. Change the way you look. Imagine you're the winner of the Mega Millions lottery, and now it's time for a friendly little chat with the press. So how are you going to handle it? Well, let's take a page from the playbook of a blackjack legend, Rick Night Train Blaine. He knows a thing or two about staying incognito. He's the author of Blackjack Blueprint, How to Play Like a Pro, part-time, and even holds the title of World's Best Blackjack Player from the 2015 Blackjack Ball Tournament. Now, you might be wondering why we're talking about blackjack in this context. Here's the real deal. Blaine, who goes by a pseudonym inspired by Humphrey Bogart's character in the classic film Casablanca, has mastered the art of disguise. He uses different aliases and changes his appearance to outsmart the casinos. Sneaky, right? So, what can you learn from Night Train? If you're a man, consider growing out that beard. Or go for a good shave if you're already sporting one. Put on a hat, some cool shades, and don't be afraid to rock some baggy clothes. The goal is to look so different that no one can recognize you in a crowd. This is your time to go for a little transformation. Getting a makeover will make you feel fresh after winning the jackpot. And if you're thinking of participating in the Mega Millions, there's something you need to know. Number 7. Odds of winning the Mega Millions lottery are slim. So here's the deal. The Mega Millions site says your chances of hitting that massive jackpot are about 1 in 302.6 million. Yep, that's a whole lot of zeros. And this means that you're more likely to get struck by lightning, come face-to-face with a shark, or experience a plane crash than getting that $1.1 billion prize. But don't fret just yet, because there's more to this story. The odds of scoring a smaller prize are better. Let's put it in perspective. If you're serious about your lottery dreams, you've got to play it smart. It's not just about crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. Nope. It's more about increasing those odds in your favor. Richard Lustig, a lottery guru, spills the beans on the secret. He says that it's all about picking the right numbers. Sounds simple, but it's an art, according to Lustig. And even if you follow this, it will take some time. Remember, good things come to those who wait. But here's another thing. Never, and I mean never, spend all your rent or grocery money on lottery tickets. Why is that so? Because if you don't win, you'll be left scrambling to cover the essentials. Many people play Mega Millions, but only a lucky few win, so don't blow your entire cash stash on a lottery whim. But the point is, you don't always need to aim for the jackpot. Sure, that would be great, but one thing most Mega Millions winners will never tell you is that they probably didn't win the biggest prize. Winning Mega Millions is rare, but it happens. Before claiming your fortune, you must pass through a secret screening process, which is the next topic on our list. Number 6. You have to do weird things to get your prize. After winning the Mega Millions jackpot, you can't just show up and claim your money. Sorry to break it to you, but there's a process you gotta follow. The interview process. You're probably wondering, what is this all about? Well, we've something from Sarah Becker, who works at the lottery office. And she did an amazing job at clarifying the whole thing. You see, there are some people who pretend to be a winner when they're not. And to check if the person is the real winner or not, the system launched the interview process. Now, before you get scared, it's nothing like a job interview, which gets all of us nervous. It's more of a normal conversation, and they even have the security officers and police during the process. During the chat, they'll ask you a few things. Like, did you let a computer pick your numbers, or did you choose them yourself? The thing is, only you and the computer know this. It's a way to make sure you're the true winner and not someone trying to trick them. So basically, they do all of this to make sure that things are fair and square. No biggie. The hype around Mega Millions is unreal, which is why many imposters turn up to claim the prize. And the next secret will disclose the hidden truth about the system. Number 5. Fantasizing about Mega Millions. The Mega Millions lottery has successfully created an image in our minds that hitting the life-changing jackpot can turn our wildest dreams into reality. These jackpots are so huge that they've been growing even larger in recent years, and it sparked those fantasies of unimaginable riches. But here's the reality check. According to Lou Lefton, a faculty member at the Georgia Tech School of Mathematics, these mega jackpots are more of a golden goose for the private companies running lottery games than for hopeful ticket buyers like us. The lottery always makes money, just like Vegas, the house wins. Lefton tells it like it is. Otherwise, it would not be a business. Shocked to hear this? Well, so are we. And spoiler alert, winning Mega Millions has become even tougher than it used to be. Recent rule changes have made the odds of hitting that jackpot even slimmer. And all of this is to sell more tickets, of course. So, while we all dream of striking it rich with a winning lottery ticket, it is important to remember that those odds are stacked against us. But hey, who can resist the allure of that mega jackpot? Just remember to play responsibly and never bet more than you can afford to lose. Busting unreal expectations about the Mega Millions was indeed important, but the next secret highlights a small yet effective tip for winning. Number 4. More tickets means more chances. Yep, you heard that right. Why play the Mega Millions alone when you can team up with others and improve your chances? The more the merrier. And that's what a lottery syndicate is all about. You can gather your friends, family, or coworkers and create a powerful group focused on winning the Mega Millions. And if you're still wondering how that's going to work, hear us out then. When you pool your money, you can buy more tickets. This will give you more chances to win the big jackpot. And it will be more fun and exciting when you share the experience with others. Buying more tickets could be a way to win the jackpot, but it's the numbers that count. And the next secret on our list reveals an unknown fact about that. Number 3. The surprising math behind your lottery choices. We're pretty sure you spend a lot of time scrolling through those articles and YouTube to get the scoop on how to turn things in your favor. We don't blame you. The whole Mega Millions hype is so irresistible. And we have a little piece of advice from an expert that might just save you some time. Harvard statistics professor Mark Glickman says, "Don't be too quick to pick those numbers that are close to your heart, like your kid's birthday or your own age." Before you ask the reason for that, it's simple, really. If you and someone else happen to pick the same set of numbers, you'll have to split that massive jackpot. That's something you don't think about when you're buying tickets, but it can make a huge difference when you win. And nobody wants to share that much money, right? So what's the alternative? Mark Glickman suggests getting a bit random. Random numbers or those quick picks you can get at the store could be your ticket to avoiding a crowd at the winner's circle. Always think outside the box, go a little random, and you might just end up with a bigger piece of that sweet jackpot. But most of all, try to throw in a few numbers higher than 31. That will make sure your numbers are different from everyone else using birthday or anniversary numbers. When you select higher numbers, you increase your odds of not having to share the jackpot with others who are stuck to the lower end of the scale. Additionally, avoid falling into the trap of using popular number combinations like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's because you can almost guarantee that if those numbers are drawn, you'll be sharing your winnings with a lot of other people. Go against the grain and choose numbers that are less commonly played. You never know when that unassuming digit might be your ticket to riches. That's not the only secret to number selection you'll want to know. Coming up, we have a secret that will give you the inside look of the previous winner's lucky charm. Number 2. The Mega Millions hot numbers. To win big in Mega Millions, you need to know which numbers have made people super rich. The top 3 hot numbers are 9, 38, and 31. These digits have shown up more times than your nosy neighbor at a block party. Now, don't get too excited just yet. Let's talk about why these numbers are so popular. Statistically speaking, they've graced the winning combination more frequently than their number buddies. So if you like finding patterns and following trends, these numbers might make you rich. And even if you don't, they're still interesting to check out, right? Grab your notepad and write down 9, 38, and 31. And let's see if we can work some magic with these numbers. Winning isn't the only thing that's important. There's an additional secret that all successful winners know that requires equal attention, and the next secret will tell you why. Number 1. Different ways to manage your cash after winning the Mega Millions lottery. Making money feels great, but most of the time, lotto winners go broke and have to file for bankruptcy. Now, this might sound unbelievable, but it's true. And that's why it's important for you to understand your finances and learn how to manage it. Let's face it, it would be an absolute shame to go broke right after winning big. No one wants that. Unfortunately, all of this is true, and there are numerous stories of people who went down this road. Once you get your hands on a lot of money, you're deceived. Your brain tricks you into thinking that you'll never ever run out of money. So, how do you deal with this pressure? We have 3 different strategies that will help you become more responsible. First things first, always have an emergency fund. It's not important to add a fixed amount of money to your fund, as this will depend on your net worth and income. But a great way to start is to have at least a minimum of 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up. That's your financial safety net, your cushion for those surprise expenses. Think of it as a rule of thumb that applies to everyone, regardless of your current situation. Having this stash of cash tucked away can really save the day when you need it most. This one might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes not spending your money can be a smart move, especially if you have had a big win. Let's break it down for you in simple terms. Sure, having cash on hand feels good, but when the money just sits there, it loses its magic. But how is that possible? Well, we have a villain here: inflation. It can nibble away at your savings by 2 to 5% each year. If you've got $1,000 stashed away, you could be losing $20 to $50 in value every year. Not a huge deal, right? But imagine you're dealing with $10 million. Now we're talking about a whopping $200,000 to $500,000 going down the drain annually. Ouch! So what's the solution? If you want to be a responsible lottery winner or just a smart investor, you've got to put that excess cash to work. You could invest in real estate, stocks, index funds, mutual funds, and tangible assets. They're like the pit crew for your money, helping it grow and stay ahead of the inflation curve. The goal here is to preserve and even boost your wealth, so you don't end up like most lottery winners who blow through their fortunes. Last up is another crucial financial tip that can save you from a world of trouble. And that's understanding your expenses before spending on those lavish purchases. Most of us are not fortunate enough to get a crash course in financial smarts during our younger days, so it's no surprise that many people don't really grasp the full picture of their expenses. For instance, that dreamy Lamborghini or Ferrari you've been eyeing. Sure, the price tag might say $250K, but hold on a minute. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There are a whole bunch of hidden costs lurking beneath the surface. First off, taxes. Yep, the government wants its share. Then there is insurance, and trust us, insuring a high-end car isn't cheap. Oh, and let's not forget about that premium gasoline these beauties thirst for. Oh, and maintenance? Brakes, tires, and modifications can add up faster than you ever expected. When you add it all up, you could be shelling out an extra $40,000 a year just to keep that fancy car on the road. Over a decade, that's a staggering $400K. That's almost double what you spent on the car in the first place. But it's not just about supercars. Whether you're thinking about buying a house, a boat, or planning a lavish vacation, there's always hidden expenses waiting to surprise you. So here's the golden rule. Before you indulge in any big-ticket item, take a moment to crunch the numbers. Factor in all those sneaky expenses that don't make it onto the flashy price tag. Do the math and see if it fits within your budget. Or, better yet, get a financial team to do it for you. These 10 secrets of Mega Millions winners provide valuable insights into the world of jackpot winners. But if you want to learn more about what it's like to be a Mega Millions winner, watch our next video about the 10 things Mega Millions winners absolutely hate about winning. You'll be shocked at what the winners have to say about the lottery. The new Mega Millions jackpot just became the second largest in history. So it's time for the lucky Florida winner to start celebrating, right? Well, maybe not. A lot of terrible things can happen when you win the lottery. Here are the top 10 things that Mega Millions winners absolutely hate about winning. Number 10. Their new friends hate them. Most people watching this have never been super rich. And that means you probably don't know that there's a lot of social politics when you're dealing with rich people. Ever heard the terms old money and new money? Those terms are important if you want to understand why lottery winners aren't really accepted by other rich people. See, old money describes people who were born into a family that's been wealthy for generations. These people have a certain way of handling their money. For example, the families often value education and family heirlooms. Think British aristocrat vibes. New money describes anyone who's rich, but only became that way recently. Old money people don't like new money. They see anyone newly rich as being a bit of a commoner. In other words, they think new money people aren't classy. Of course, that's not always true, but that view means people from old money often avoid being seen with new money people, like lottery winners. So that means lottery winners will just make friends with other new money people, right? Nope. New money people don't like lottery winners either. That's because anyone who has become rich recently got that way through hard work. They resent lottery winners because winning the lottery doesn't involve any work at all. Of course, it's not true that lottery winners are lazy. A lot of winners worked hard their whole life, even if it wasn't the work that made them rich. So there's no real reason for other rich people to hate lottery winners, but they do. And that can be pretty disappointing for a lottery winner who just wants to experience the good life. So, lottery winners can't make friends in high places. So they should just stick to their old friends, right? Well, number 9, they lose all their old friends, and sometimes their family too. Lottery winners find out pretty quick that friends and family don't stick by you through anything. Sure, they might be there when things are bad, but the real test of who your true friends are is hitting the jackpot. There are countless stories of lottery winners losing friends and family after winning the lottery. It turns out, everyone you're close to gets pretty angry when you don't split your money with them. Sure, some winners lose it all because they start partying too hard. That's what happened to Keith Goff, who won the lottery just a few months before his first child was born. The first thing he did was go down to the bar to celebrate. But unfortunately, even after the party ended, he didn't stop. He moved on from alcohol to drugs, and his young wife was forced to leave with their baby to make sure it had a normal childhood. Keith soon ended up in jail for selling drugs to feed his habit. But not everyone loses their friends and family because they've changed. Sometimes you do nothing wrong and still lose everyone. When Dave Dawes won almost $130 million, the first thing he did was to give his 30-year-old son, Michael, a whopping $2 million as a gift. There's no doubt that's incredibly generous. So, how did his son say thank you? He sued him. But why?
That's a good question.
See, Michael decided his dad was some kind of magical bank he could just take money from whenever he wanted. So, he quit his well-paying job and spent about $1.5 million from his dad's gift in under a month. He ran out of money, so his dad gave him more. Soon, that was gone too. But this time, his dad didn't want to give him any more because he was worried his son was throwing his life away. But Michael had other ideas. He told the court that his dad had promised he'd never want for anything again. Obviously, that's crazy. Most of us would set up a pretty perfect life with $2 million. Michael just seemed to want it all. He was also treating his friends differently because they weren't as rich as he was. Well, as rich as his dad. As if that wasn't bad enough, he verbally abused his stepmom at her own birthday party because she wouldn't give him another $7 million of his dad's money. You'll be glad to hear that the judge dismissed the case, saying that David had given Michael more than enough money, especially since he also paid off Michael's debt. But you can bet that relationship is pretty much destroyed now. And honestly, stories like this happen a lot to Mega Millions jackpot winners. Your family hating you for not giving them all your money is bad enough, but the problems that Mega Millions winners face start even before they get their money. Number 8. They're treated like criminals. I'll bet you didn't know that Mega Millions winners are interrogated before they are given their jackpot payout. That's right, they're treated like literal criminals for simply claiming the jackpot they rightfully won. This happens even after they've shown up to the lottery office in person with the winning ticket in their hand. And if you think I'm overreacting, that the whole thing is probably just an employee at the office that asks a few questions, you're wrong. There are law enforcement officials on hand to interview any winners of big payouts, like a jackpot. They'll be accompanied during the interrogation by security hired by the lottery. Obviously, they don't like to call the process an interrogation. They prefer to use the word interview. But I think if you're being questioned by the police so they can determine whether you're trying to steal millions of dollars, it's gotta be called an interrogation, right? Just in case you ever win, we'll let you in on some of the things that'll come up. They'll typically ask you questions like where you bought the ticket, and whether you chose your own numbers or just went for a quick pick. The answers to these questions are recorded by lottery machines when you buy the ticket, and the information can be accessed by lottery officials thanks to the serial number on your ticket. So they know the answers. If you don't, they're going to assume you're lying about being the owner of the ticket. So make sure you remember the details about where and how you buy your ticket every single time, just in case. Think that's bad? Well, it's not the only time jackpot winners are treated like criminals. Number 7. They lose their right to privacy. You have a right to privacy. And yes, that is in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. You can lose that right by committing certain crimes. Oh, or by becoming a lottery jackpot winner. There's no doubt that's a pretty shocking fact. You'll be glad to hear it's not universally true. There are countries around the world that allow you to stay anonymous if you win the lottery. But since the Mega Millions lottery is a US lottery, that doesn't really help you. In America, most states don't allow you to be anonymous if you won the lottery. In other words, you literally have to give up one of your human rights to get the money you won fair and square. Why do they do this in the first place? Well, splashing the face of a real-life jackpot winner all over the news is a great way to gain publicity for the lottery and get people buying tickets. But it doesn't help you as the jackpot winner at all. There are some ways around this. For example, you might be able to stay anonymous if you bought the ticket in a state that allows you to keep that right. But that could cost people a lot of money to travel. You can also set up a trust and use that to claim the prize, but people can still find out who the owner of the trust is. Plus, California doesn't allow that at all. The problem with all this is that it can totally ruin people's lives. If everyone knows who you are, total strangers will show up at your door or beg you on social media for money. Plus, the media is obsessed with lottery winners. That's what happened to John and Lisa Robinson. When they won, they insisted that they loved their home and had always dreamed of retiring in the house where they raised their kids. So they had no intention of buying a big mansion. But strangers kept knocking, and a convoy of media vans were camping outside. It got so bad that the police started patrolling their home. Eventually, they didn't feel safe anymore and were exhausted by all the people constantly trying to get a picture of them. So they were forced to move. Sure, it was lucky they had the cash to buy a beautiful home, but that wasn't what they wanted. And all Mega Millions winners who have to go public will experience what it's like to not be able to live by their own rules. Just take a look at record-breaking Powerball jackpot winner Edwin Castro. He won that gigantic $2.4 billion jackpot, but he's now forced to spend an estimated $21,000 per week on security. I don't know about you, that sounds like my idea of a nightmare. So I guess the next problem on this list isn't really a surprise. Number 6. They become paranoid. According to psychologists, one of the biggest problems that jackpot winners face is paranoia. They can quickly become paranoid about everyone and everything around them. But that's not so surprising, because once you have that much money, you literally can't trust anyone. We've already mentioned that you can lose family and friends at a rapid pace, but it's not easy to rebuild after that either. Callie Rogers won the lottery when she was just 16. And she says that the worst part was finding out that her friends weren't her friends. She trusted them, but mostly they were stabbing her in the back. She's grown up with kids now, but she says she still has anxiety every time she meets someone new. That's not surprising when she was buying drinks for people in bars, only to see later that they'd sold the story she told them that night to the tabloids. But it's not just friends and family that betray you when you're a lottery winner. Just ask the winners of one of the biggest Mega Millions jackpots of all time. They won a whopping $1.5 billion jackpot and knew they needed help managing that money. And that's pretty smart. All experts advise you to hire experts to help out when you've never managed that kind of money before. They didn't know who to ask until they saw a man called the lottery lawyer on TV. His name was Jay Curland, and everyone seemed to think he was the authority on managing a huge jackpot responsibly. So they hired him, paying a mind-blowing $200,000 for their first consultation with him, and another $50,000 per month after that. But even though his fees alone could have made him rich, that wasn't enough for him. He was stealing tons of cash from all his lottery winner clients to fund criminal activities run by his friends. I know, it's pretty dark. By the time he was finally caught, he'd already stolen an eye-watering $200 million from his clients. So the money seems to turn everyone against you, but it might turn you against yourself too. Number 5. They can lose meaning in life. Along with paranoia, the other thing psychologists say is common among jackpot winners is that they lose their sense of purpose. You'd think all that money opening up a world of possibilities would be a good thing. And sure, sometimes it does help people a lot, if it gives them the opportunity to pursue something they've always dreamed of but couldn't afford. But for a lot of winners, it just causes confusion. That's because they suddenly want for nothing. They don't need to work another day in their lives. And if that's true, what do they do with their life? You never ask that question when you're working hard all the time to afford basic things, like most people. You also don't think about how stressful it can be to manage hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of winners find it exhausting, scary, and seriously stressful. Especially when there are no clear answers about how to manage their wealth. That's probably why so many lottery winners turn to alcohol and drugs. It also explains why experts often advise winners to keep going to work, even if they hate their job, at least until they have a clear plan for what they're going to do with all their money. You want it to improve your life, not ruin it. But then again, they might not be able to avoid a disaster, even with a good plan. Number 4. Their chances of being the victim of a serious crime become much higher. This could come as a shock, but jackpot winners are a lot more likely to become the victim of a crime than the average person. All jackpot winners suddenly have a target on their back. But what kind of crimes are we talking about? The answer to that question isn't good. You're more likely to be scammed, robbed, or even worse if you have a jackpot in the bank. The statistics aren't good either. Some say that winning the lottery makes you 20% more likely to lose your life due to, well, unnatural causes. Why? Well, it's just the easiest way for the bad guys to get their hands on your money. Don't believe me? Let me give you some examples. A man named Abraham Shakespeare won the lottery. As if that wasn't lucky enough, he met a woman named Dee Dee not long after and he fell in love. Only it wasn't as lucky as he thought. His body was found not long after underneath a concrete slab. And yes, you've already guessed who did it. Gregory Birch lost his life to armed robbers who broke into his home looking for his money. And Yarouj Khan's brother found himself in a nightmare when he got a call that Yarouj was having a heart attack. But Yarouj had just won $1 million, so that heart attack seemed pretty suspicious to his brother, who arrived too late to save his life. It took him a while to convince police to investigate Yarouj's death, but when they did, they found the deadly poison cyanide in his blood. However, they never found the person that did it. That's a pretty terrifying reality that lottery winners face every day. But it might also explain the next thing on our list. Number 3. They're forced to plan for their own death. Before Mega Millions jackpot winners are even given their money, they have to plan for their own death. It sounds like a huge downer on a day that should be a celebration, right? So why does this happen? Well, if the winner chooses the annuity payments, the lottery insists on knowing who they should pay the money to in the event of the winner's death. It kinda makes sense. After the first payment, which they get immediately, there are 29 more payments. That means they need to live another 29 years to get all the money. That's a lot of time to accidentally meet your maker. So they need to choose a beneficiary to receive the payments in case that happens. They're allowed to choose any person or their estate that will receive the money. But lump sum winners aren't off the hook either. If you have a lump sum sitting in your estate and you suddenly perish, your family are gonna be slapped with a gigantic tax bill if you haven't planned correctly. It's called an estate tax or inheritance tax, depending on where you are, and it kicks in when the money passes on to the people you generously chose as the beneficiaries of your estate. Luckily, there is insurance that covers that tax, and it's definitely a good idea to look into that, even if it is a horrible thing to think about. There is one way to avoid all that, and it's coming up next on this list. Unfortunately, it's definitely not good. Number 2. They might find they missed their chance to get their hands on the money. There are loads of ways that jackpot winners can totally miss out on getting the money. Obviously, the first way is to lose the ticket. It's every lottery winner's nightmare. Loads of people have lost tickets in the past, or accidentally destroyed them, like the player in California who forgot her $26 million ticket was in her jeans pocket and accidentally destroyed it in the wash. Others have their tickets stolen. And this can come from unexpected places. In fact, store clerks stealing winning tickets is such a problem in America that the lottery has undercover agents constantly trying to catch them. I know, it sounds like a movie, but it's happening in real life. There are also more unique ways to miss out on becoming a multimillionaire. The young British couple Rachel Kennedy and Liam McCrohan thought they'd solved the problem of forgetting to buy tickets by setting up an online subscription that automatically bought a ticket with their numbers before every draw. So you can imagine how excited they were when their numbers came up in a draw for $228 million. Only there was a problem. A glitch on the website meant their automatic purchase never happened. In other words, they had no ticket. And that was the end of their impossible dream. But there's another way you can miss out that you might not even know is a thing. Check the back of your ticket and you'll probably see a date. That's actually an expiration date. If you don't claim your prize before that date, you won't get the money. If you think that's pretty rare, you're wrong. America misses out on claiming a whopping $2 billion every year. The biggest ever unclaimed ticket was worth $77 million. That was in 2011, which means even if you realized you had that ticket, you still couldn't claim the money now. We'll leave it up to you to decide if never getting the money is worse than the last thing Mega Millions winners hate about winning. Number 1. They almost always lose it all. If you think this is a myth, you're wrong. Lottery winners are more likely to lose everything than they are to live a happy life with all that money. In fact, an estimated 70% of winners lose absolutely everything. As if that wasn't bad enough, lottery winners are more likely to go bankrupt within the next 3 to 5 years than any other American at any point in their lives. It's a pretty shocking statistic. And a lot of that is, surprisingly, because winners give too much away. That makes them more vulnerable than rich people who earned money through their work. People are just less likely to ask for money that someone earned than money that someone won. And people who won the lottery often suffer from winner's guilt, so they're more likely to give family and friends everything they want. But it's also true that lottery winners aren't good at saving. Jackpot winners surveyed 10 years after winning had only saved an average of 16 cents on every dollar. That's not sustainable. A lot of winners end up even more broke and in debt than they were before winning. So, what do you think? Are you glad you didn't win the recent Mega Millions jackpot now? This has all seemed pretty hopeless. Want to know how to become a successful lottery winner? We've gathered together the best bits of advice from everyone's favorite money experts, the Shark Tank team. You definitely want to hear what they had to say.